Am I the asshole for not telling my father's third wife, Happy Mother's Day? I'm in my mid-40s. My father married his third wife about 10 years ago. They live across the country, and my relationship with her mainly consists of her listening to my phone calls with my father on speakerphone, and I often don't even know she's there until she says something in the background, and I realize I've actually been talking to both of them. I met her one time about a decade ago, and she is nice enough, but I really just see her as a woman my father married. I cut off contact with my own mother years ago and try to block out anything Mother's Day for obvious reasons. So my father and his wife came to visit this year, and it happened to fall on Mother's Day weekend. Despite being up since 5 a.m. with not one, but two sick dogs, and having my own chronic health conditions to deal with, I spent about 3 hours making dinner and dessert for their last night in town. We had barely sat down to eat, and I made a comment about how nice of a day it was. My father piped in with, "It's Mother's Day too." And I kind of laughed and said, "We aren't real big on that in this house for obvious reasons." His wife scoffed and said, "Thanks a lot." I asked what she meant, and she said, "I'm a mom." And I replied that she isn't my mom. She said she's someone's mom, and proceeds to tell me about how her kids told her, "Happy Mother's Day." I told her I don't typically say Happy Mother's Day to every mom I know of, and asked her if she planned on telling me Happy Mother's Day for being a mother to my two elderly sick dogs. She said no, as if it was a ridiculous thing for me to ask. At this point, she told me to shut up and stop talking to her. "Well, lady, you started a fight just as we sat down to eat, and in my house, you don't throw a punch and then get to put your hands up and say, 'Fight over.'" I tried to explain to her that I don't view her as a mother figure. She's my dad's wife, but I was an adult when she joined the family, and she never mothered me. She shouted, "Fuck you," to me, and everyone got up and left the table and went into their rooms. I found out later they dumped the dinner I made them in the garbage and had cold cereal for dinner. They asked my husband to drive them to the airport the next morning for their flight, and neither of them said a word to me or my dogs before they left. To clarify, I didn't know it was Mother's Day until this conversation. I have a traumatic brain injury and am disabled, and had been clear with everyone all day that I was exhausted and my brain was melting down. This fight was sprung on me at about 9 p.m. I'd been up 16 hours at that point and on my feet cooking for 3 hours. Too long, didn't read. My father married his third wife when I was in my 30s. I met her twice, including this Mother's Day weekend. I didn't tell her Happy Mother's Day because it's a day I don't celebrate due to my own mother being a terrible person. She got upset, shouted "fuck you" to me, and her and my father stopped speaking to me and left the next morning without saying a word to me.